This blendedschools.net tutorial will provide a quick overview of the Wimba Classroom and how to lead sessions as a teacher using the Wimba Classroom. The Wimba Classroom has three primary areas to it as the teacher. At the bottom there is the communication area. To the right hand side there is the control area, and in the middle left there's the delivery area. The only difference between the teacher view and the student view is the control area. The students do not see this area to the right, but they do see the communication area and they do see the content delivery area at the top. Starting with communication, there are three methods of communication that you can use in the Wimba Classroom. First of all, down here in the very lower left, there's text. You simply type in the box and hit enter. You can also private message a participant by clicking on their name first, typing and hitting enter. That message will only go to that one participant. And then if you want to change back to everybody, you just select the drop down and select main room, and then you can type again and everybody in the room will see it. That will look slightly different if you're using breakout rooms, which are not covered in this tutorial. In addition to that text communication, there is also voice using the talk button here. If you click and hold the talk button down for the entire time that you're talking, everybody in the room with their speakers or headphones on will hear you talking. A shortcut to the talk key is the control key on your keyboard. You can hold down control, and then when you let go of control, that will close your microphone. And then your final communication method is video, which you can get to by opening up the little video camera here. When you first open up the video area, it will show as no video. But this emblem here at the bottom, the closed eye, when you click that, that'll start transmitting your video. And you'll see your own face down here in the lower right, and then you'll see whoever video is being transmitted here in the main area. And to stop transmitting video, just close the eye, and you can also close the window too. Now how the system works is that whoever is currently talking, whoever has the talk button held down, their video will be transmitted. And if nobody has the talk button held down, then the instructor's video is transmitted. The final thing with communication you'll want to know is that there is an options menu here. This allows you to also lock your talk down so that you don't have to touch any keys on your keyboard at all. The system will detect when you're talking and open up your microphone. And then finally, if you have any problems with your microphone not working or your video not working, you might want to check your audio or video inputs to make sure that you have the appropriate input selected. By default, the Wimba Classroom is set up so that everybody who comes into the room will have the ability to talk, use video and text. And if more than one person is talking at once, it'll just be people talking over each other. Now you can control that as the teacher from the communication area by looking at these symbols. These symbols represent voice, video, text chat, and then instructor privileges. And the emblems below show the current privileges of each participant. So plus means they can do that, the minus means they cannot. So participant 1 can talk, they can use their video, they can text chat, but they do not have access to the instructor tools, which are these tools here on the right. If I don't want participant 1 to be able to use their microphone, I can just click the plus. That will change them to a minus, and now they can no longer use their microphone. Their talk button will be disabled. The same is true for video and text chat. And when I want to bring them back on, I can just open them up again. There's also some feedback tools here, the check, the X, the raise hand, and then the different emoticons. As the participants click those, they will show up in the list. So for example, participant 1 clicks the check mark or the X. This shows up in the communication area. And then you can use the small cogwheel here to reset those. So for example, you can clear the yes, no's, clear the hand raises. You can also disable video, audio, and chat across every participant in the classroom from the cogwheel. Moving on to the teacher control area, this is where you can present content to the students. You have several things that you can do from here. First of all, if you want to record your session, you need to click the record button here before you start presenting, and then again when you've done presenting, and that will create you an archive. So I'm going to click record, click OK, and you see it says archive starting.
Archiving started.
And now the archiver is running everything that I'm doing, all the text chat, all the voice, all the video, all the presentation is being recorded. Then I can choose the type of information I want to present. I can choose from these three buttons here, the web, which will allow me to send a web page to the student, so I could type in or copy and paste a web address into here. And then I can choose how I want it to open in a new window or in the content frame, which is the content delivery area here. And then I just click Show Web Page, and everybody who is connected to this Wimba Classroom session will see this web page, and it's actually a live web page that they can interact with. There's the e-board, which by default is like a digital whiteboard. It'll load up these tools here, and I can draw on the whiteboard. And you may want to explore the different tools. One I will point out is the Enable tool. When you click on the Enable tool, it actually allows you to give control of the e-board to one or more participants. You select the participant's name, click Update, and that will give that particular participant the e-board tool so they can come in and draw themselves. So you can see that I'm not controlling that, one of the actual participants is. And you can use Enable to also disable. So you can have students draw on the whiteboard for them. You've also got the Share option. This allows you to share your own computer's desktop. This will pop up a new window, and you choose whose desktop is being shared and who has control of the mouse. You click Begin Sharing. Then you'll get another pop-up window. When you're using sharing, it's good to make sure that you don't miss these pop-up windows. Sometimes if people are a little impatient, they may click away and windows might get lost in the background, for example, like this. So I still have this window in the background, and I need to choose what area of my screen I want to share. Now, generally speaking, the smaller the area you share, the better it's going to work. This is because it requires quite a lot of your internet connection to share your computer's desktop. So you can choose either one specific window, screen area, or full desktop. Just be aware if you choose something like full desktop, if you have a very large computer monitor, it's going to slow down this dramatically, and you may find that while you're displaying something on your screen, it's several minutes before the participants see it on theirs. So if you're just presenting a small area of your screen, you might even want to select screen area. When you do that, you'll get this red rectangle show up, and you can drag it around and you can resize it using the handles. So maybe I'm just presenting from a small area of my screen. Just select it, maybe this area here, and then I just click OK. And then the main thing I need to keep in mind is that the participants are only seeing what's inside this box. So if I start to demonstrate something outside of the box, they're not seeing it. So for example, if I want to show the participants the Close Room button, what I would need to do is actually physically resize the window or move the window, or the other thing to do would be to move the actual red box itself by grabbing a hold of it. So keep that in mind. It requires a little bit more work on the instructor's end, but it'll make the experience a lot better for the students. Now when you're done sharing your screen, you need to find your way back to that pop-up window again. It's probably hidden somewhere in the background. Here it is. And you need to just go to End Sharing. There we go. And at that point, you can switch to any of the other tools. So there's the web, there's the e-board, and the sharing. The e-board tool is probably the one you'll use the most, because one of the other key features of the e-board, on top of its ability to do drawings and those types of tools, is that it can also present PowerPoints. BlendedSchools.net has a tutorial that shows you how to use this uploader button to get your PowerPoints into the e-board. But when you're done with that, it's a quick and simple process. You just click the appropriate PowerPoint slides, and those PowerPoint slides are actually dropped onto the e-board, and everybody who is a participant in the session can see those. You can also use the e-board tools to maybe emphasize, circle, any of the tools within there. Now when you're done with your session, you can stop your archive. You can click OK.
Archive recording has been stopped. Archive is being saved. The archive is now complete.
Now depending on how long your session was, depends on how long the archive takes to complete. Generally speaking, if you present for say 30 minutes, it'll take about 2 or 3 minutes for the archive to be created. You'll find the archive back in your Blackboard class. So if you go to the place in your Blackboard class where you have the Wimba Classroom link created, and we have other tutorials that show you how to create the Wimba Classroom and the links, you'll find here a link to the archive. And we have other tutorials that show you how to deal with archives. We have several other tutorials that cover the more advanced features of the Wimba Classroom, including the breakout rooms, the polling, and how to give participants instructor privileges. But this would be a basic overview of the communication and presentation tools in the Wimba Classroom, and thanks for watching this blendedschools.net tutorial.